Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, kings and queens. Welcome to the Truth Now talk show. And this is one of your hosts. I am yours truly, Patrice Munsell. My other half, Antonita Lachey, she's out on hiatus today. So I am flying solo, but I am here. I am here on this live stream. I want to say hello to all of the wonderful team at Hot 702.5 FM on your streaming platform dial. And happy Saturday again. Today is May the 8th of 2021. Guys, I got an interesting and it's an interesting topic, but it's a topic that a lot of people are talking about, have been talking about for years and years and years and years and generations, right? And I want to talk about dating, guys, dating in the 21st century and what that looks like for you. I think this is going to be an interesting topic. I would like to hear your comments, your opinions, your suggestions. If you want to call in, like however you guys want to get your points across while we talking about this dating in the 21st century, guys. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I am a single uh, female, middle aged African American female, and I am back on the dating scene, back dating in the dating market again. I'm not happy about that, but it is what it is, right? And I think all of us that are single and maybe like dating, we're experiencing different things, right? So I want to talk about that because this whole dating thing is really interesting. I've had several conversations with male counterparts that I've went on dates with, whether they work out or not. I tend to get something out of everything from that experience of dating. Some of my girlfriends I talk to, and just even some just everyday regular people at work, or that you meet in passing. And I want to talk about this, what I feel is like, and I know they are generational gaps, right? Because dating for me at my age, it may be different from dating for someone in the, say, Generation X uh, uh, generation, or the Generation Y, which are your millennials, or even your centennials, which are your generation Gen Zs, as they call them. I am, and I'm proud to say, I am a baby boomer. So if you guys know anything about the generations, your primary generations, you know that if you were born between these dates and these dates, that's the generation you fit into, right? And what does dating for you in your generation looks like? Okay. For me and my house, for me and my experience, kings and queens, it is tough. It is tough out here in this on these dating streets, in these dating streets, you guys. And I will say, I don't know, especially during the pandemic. How are you meeting people? How are you meeting people to date, to go on dates? For me, I'm online dating, right? Because I work from home. It's a pandemic. I'm not out as much, as you normally would to meet people. So how do you feel about online dating? Right? I mean, I got mixed feelings. Like I got some good and I got some bad and I got some in between. So with all of that said, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, it's all dating for us all, right? And what that looks like for us in our generation. Okay, so mine, for me, being of the baby boomer generation, it's coming out of, most of us baby boomers and Gen X's have been married or were married, or in their lives they have children. Most of them, the childrens are in their latter teens or grown out the house. I know for me, my son's grown out the house. He's been out the house a long time, and so my life has been set up with just me solo doing it all, being an independent black woman out here in these streets, working, trying to do what I got to do to survive, do what I got to do to strive, do what I got to do to live, do what I got to. So when you're single, and I'm giving my perspective and my opinion right now, but I would love to hear yours. For me, being a baby boomer, being someone older, getting back out there on the dating scene is tougher for me because I feel like most of the people that are my age, they're still in their marriages and been married a long time, and they probably comfortable in their marriages, and they're not going anywhere. Even though their kids may be grown and out the house, they just not going nowhere. They comfortable with their mate, whether they're happy or not. And they probably just saying, this is what it is. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm not finna be out here trying to be in these dating streets again, trying to get to know somebody all over again, figure them out, whatever. And we end up dating, and I put my stuff together with their stuff, and it is what it is. Okay. But for someone like me that's back single and back out in the dating streets, again, it's tougher because, like I said, most people my age, they are all already married, in relationships, been in them for a long time. I was married for over 10 years, so I know what that looks like. My son's grown out the house. My spouse's son is grown and out the house. So when we were married, our sons were already grown and out the house. So it was really about us and our marriage. And now that I'm no longer married and I have been divorced for many, many years, getting back out there, and I was in long-term relationships after like 8, 10 years of being single, long-term relationships, having those things not working out for whatever reasons, and you're back out here and you're single again, and you like, oh fuck, excuse me my French or whatever. Hi Michael, how are you? Hi Roland. So you back out here in these dating streets again, and you trying to figure it out again. It sucks because it's like you don't want to start all over again, because that's kind of what it is. It's feel like you're starting all over again. You got to meet somebody all over again. You got to figure them out all over again. You got to get to know them all over again. That whole thing, that part of it sucks, right? But you have to put the work in. You have to, if you want to be out here on the dating scene again and you want to be in a relationship again, you have to put yourself out there again, make yourself available for that very purpose, for dating, right? So back out here in these dating streets again, and it's ugly. For me, I could say my experiences is not so good because especially when you're online dating, it's hard to figure people out that you're trying to get to know until you actually go out on a date with them, start meeting them in person, and things of that nature. So the online dating experience can be really, 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 really trying, because I think there's more people on those dating sites for all the wrong reasons, right? I think that there are people on there that are totally flakes. I think there are people that are on the dating sites that are totally fakes. I think though that there are people are on these dating sites that are one track minded and only looking for one thing, one particular. They're in these certain categories that I'm finding that I'm putting them in, right? Whether they the one night standers, they only looking for one night stands, who they can be with for that one night. You got your what you call them, habitual daters, where they're on multiple dating sites and they're dating multiple women. You have the kind of guys that they just looking for, as they call them, the booty calls, the fly by nighters. You got the kind on there that say they looking for a serious, want to be in a long-term relationship, and they totally don't. Hi Steve. You have the guys on there that are your casual daters. They only want a casual date. They say that, you know, and this is what I say to that. If you want to casually date, you can casually just, swipe on past my profile, because to me, you want to casually date her, casually date her, casually date her, and casually date her. You don't want anything serious. They're not, ready to commit and want to be in a long-term relationship. So, and I had interesting conversations with different people about this subject, right? So I'm finding people fitting into all these different categories. Dating for a baby boomer is different than a dater that's online dating, or dating that's a Gen Z, or your centennials, if you will. And it's different from how millennials are dating. And those generation gaps are because the dating pool for them is such a wide spectrum because of the alternative lifestyles that a lot of millennials and Gen Ys and Gen Zs are living now. They're living more alternative lifestyles than some of us older generational people. But trust me, there are some older generations, your Gen X's and your baby boomers, that are into a lot of different alternative lifestyles as well. And those things I'm finding are interesting, because I'm more of a traditionalist. I come from an era of morals, values, scruples. I'm coming from more of chivalry in men. I look for that. A man being a gentleman, a man being the one that pursues the woman. And now it's different for your millennials, your Gen X's, your Gen Zs. They're more open. The women are more aggressive. There are more open relationships. There are different forms of relationships. I don't know much about them, but there are ones that experience swinging lifestyles. There are one that experience poly lifestyles. There are one that experience bisexual lifestyles. It's such a wide, broad spectrum, right, of this whole dating pool. And I think generational wise, it differs for each generation. And then there's some similarities. You got some cougars, the women that are dating the younger men. Then older men have always wanted to date younger women. I think they go through the change of life too, just like women do, where men get a certain age, they feel like they have something to prove, and they want to date women that old enough to be their daughters or even their granddaughters. I mean, it's just such a wide spectrum of that. Me personally, I can't date anyone my son's age, because I'll feel like I'll dating someone that could be my son's friend. You know what I mean? Go out with my son, kick it with my son. So like I can't be that one. Like this ain't that. I ain't her and this ain't that. So I can't date anyone that's my son's age. That would just be very awkward for me. I would feel very awkward, like uncomfortable with that situation. But there are men do it all the time. Men do it all the time. So and I don't know if it's an ego booster thing, what it is with that, with men, that they feel like they want to date somebody that could be their daughter's friend or even their granddaughter's friend. That just whatever. But anyway, to each his own. But online dating, it's very easy for men and women to get behind a computer, their phone, the iPads, or any device like that, and pretend to be someone else. And there's a lot of people that's doing that on the online dating. That has been my personal experience that I found out. It's very easy for people to say that they are down with this or down with that or not or whatever, and there and you date them, you meet them, and it's a totally different subject. It's like totally different. Um, then there's the spectrum of dating interracially, which I have done exclusively for a long time, and that in and of itself is a whole nother shell. I think that when you experience, whether you have experienced it or not, if you are a first timer, I think that conversations need to be had with the person of the opposite race, because with everything that's going on in the world racially and all of that, I think that there needs to be some uncomfortable conversations that needs to be had regarding race, to get that person's side, to get your side, and so forth. If you want to experience that for the first time, I prefer to not be with someone that has never dated interracially, because you don't I sometimes you don't know if it's more of a curiosity for them or if it's a fad for them. They just want to be able to say that they dated a black woman before, or they dated a Hispanic woman, or they dated an Asian woman before, or whatever that looks like. It's just hard to figure out people a lot of times. You have to literally continuously get to know someone and date them, to kind of, get a feel of who they are. Sometimes people, for the most part, my experience has been people really truly show you who they are the first time, and when they do, you should believe them, because if they doing something that, I feel that everybody should have, that they red flags, antennas up, if you will, on people. And I've talked to this conversation. I've had this conversation and talked about this with someone before on a serious note, like, stop being deaf, falling on deaf ears, and not paying attention to the red flags that people give you when you're dating. I'm gonna wet my whistle, you guys. So I think that, um, the red flags are things that, definitely should be things that make you go, you know what I mean, about that person. Because when we like a person, or we feel we got attraction or chemistry to a person, we tend to ignore the red flags. That can be very, very dangerous and very detrimental in relationships. But we do it all the time as human beings. I've done it. I'm pretty sure some other people have done it. We see them and we choose to ignore them. Um, some examples of red flags: if a person, you out on a date, and it doesn't matter if it's the first date or the 10th date, if a person expresses like anger problems, they quick to anger and blow up and go off, on the waitress, or on the parking attendant or valet guy, or the bellhop guy. If they are people that are tend to like just snap off, and this is the type of behavior that catches you off guard, and you see that person didn't, you didn't see in that person before. These are things that make you go, these are the red flags you need to pay attention to. Or if you're dating someone, and you've been out with them several times, and they are drinking very heavily, profusely, all the time. It's not just, oh, well, he had a little bit too much drink one time. It's like, okay, now this is the third, fourth, fifth date, and this person really drinks a lot. I can tell that they drink heavy. They're acting weird. They acting like maybe they even on something else, not just alcohol. You get the things that make you go, So, so those red flags. Or if a person is not consistent in what they say that they're gonna do, if they're not consistent in follow through. I hate people that don't follow through. They say things but they don't follow through, right? Uh, you catch them in lies, like literally, they say they're gonna do something, be somewhere, or whatever the situation, or you catch them in a lie just out of general conversation, and you got to wonder, okay, if he lying to me about the sky being blue yesterday and it was gray, what else would he lie to me about? So it's just those things, the red flags that we choose to ignore in people when we like them, or is or we are attracted to them, and we feel a chemistry with them, right? So, the difference in the generations, like I said, I think it's more open for, it's way more open, way more open for the younger generation, your Gen Zs, your millennials, Gen Xs, and Gen Ys. Gen X is kind of on the cuff, I would say, because these are people that are in the 40s, in the upper 30s to 40s to like maybe early 50s, and then you got your baby boomers are your 50, mid 50s, 60s, like that. And then of course the traditionalists, these are like your silent generation people. They were born in 1945 and before, honey. So they are like probably been married for 40, 50, 60 years. These are our grandparents or our great grandparents, right? And I think that each generation can learn something from the other generation, right? Because we're all living in the 21st century here. And what, no matter what generation you from, I think that it's interesting to probably get a perspective from another generation just to see what the differences is and what the similarities are. I know that the younger generation, a lot of them are not even thinking about marriage. A lot of them don't even want to get married. I've talked to um, like my nieces. I've talked to my son who was married before, but like right now he's like saying he don't ever want to get married again. And I don't know if he really means that. Right now he may mean it, but you don't know what that looks like later, right? I mean, people can change their mind or whatever. You got older people that have been married before that don't want to get married anymore, then say they don't want to get married anymore. You got people, older people that was married that do want to get married before. And I think that you need to find people that are equally yoked like that for you, because you should not be with someone that don't want the same things that you want, right? Because in all, don't go in a relationship thinking you can change somebody's mind, thinking you can change them, because they're not going to change unless they want to change. Um, so to even start the conversation off with a person is, look, if you meeting someone or whatever and you guys are conversing back and forth and you saying, look, I don't want to get married, I've been there, done that, don't want to go down that road again, but you a person that wants to get married. I think that those two people will not be equally yoked with each other, because your values and your what you want to desire in a relationship is totally different. I think it's kind of dangerous to go in those type of relationships. I think that if you meet someone that says, I'm willing to be in a long-term relationship that can lead to marriage, I'm open to that, and I think that's fine for you to go into a relationship if that's what your expectations are, right? But what does that look like for you, as far as where you at in life, your age in life, your stance in life, your values, your morals, and the expectations that you have set for yourself? I don't think that anyone should compromise that. I don't think anyone should compromise their happiness in this dating pool to accommodate someone else. I think that if you're not getting what you want out of the relationship of dating someone, and a period of time has went by, and your expectations, your things, your level of where you want to be in that relationship has not happened, and it don't look like it's going to happen, I think you should move on. I think that you should find someone that is where you are in your life and want the same thing that you want in your life, because I don't think it's fair to the other person to string a person on. I don't think it's fair to the other person to lie and deceive another person. And I'm finding out in the dating world that this is what a lot is going on, that people are saying things that they want to do, and it's not that, or they're doing things that they said they didn't want to do, and it's that. I think that can cause a lot of strife in the relationship. And a lot of times when you are straight up forward with someone, I can respect you so much more than to feel like you lied, you led me on, it was bullshit, like that was not your intentions. And don't get me wrong, I know sometimes things change down the course of the line in relationships. I get that. But I think a lot of times, for the most part, people's intentions are not, I like you like to think people's intentions are well, and a lot of times they are not well. So you have to be careful of that and look for those red flags as well. Being in open relationships, multiple relationships, poly lifestyles, I think that if all parties agree to those things and you have set rules and standards and regulations as to the respect of another person, I think that what you choose to do with that is your business. And that's in any relationship. But I think when you take people's choice away from them because you decide to do something or not do something, and don't give the other person in the relationship the chance to have a say in it or have a decision in it, that's where the disconnect comes. That's where the dishonesty comes. That's where you're not being open and honest with the person that you're in a relationship with, and that tends to happen a lot. There are also experiences with dating with people that I will say, from my spectrum in as a woman, that I've seen is sometimes the man's not who they say they are, right? They're not. You can go on and meet a person for the first time and be totally taken aback because they look nothing like their picture. I've heard those stories. I've experienced those stories. You could be taken aback by the fact that you date them long enough, you find out something that's definitely a deal breaker for you. And what are your deal breakers? I mean, for me, I have deal breakers. Like, I won't date a guy that smokes. I don't like smoking. I think it's gross. I don't like it. I don't like the way it smells on the person's breath that I have to kiss. I don't like the way it smells on in their clothes. I don't like the way it smells in their car, in their home. Yeah, I in their hair. I just don't care for it, and it's the same for anyone that's an alcoholic. Now I know, I drink. We all drink. I'm talking social drinking. It's fine. Everybody you drink, of course, your breath gonna smell away. Try to pop a mint or some gum in or something. You good. That's or if you ate something out to dinner and you got onions, of course your breath is not gonna smell so good. So you try to keep some mints or some gum or something, because when you kiss that person, if you kiss that person, you want them to at least have fresh breath. But if you have to tell them, oh, them onions is kicking from dinner, like, here, take some gum, pop a mint in, please oblige the person. So things are, just funny little quirks. I'm a deal breaker. One of my other deal breakers is I don't date anyone that have cats because I am deadly allergic to cats. And it's funny because online dating, I swear to God, it's more men that have cats than women. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. And I understand cats. I like cats. I'm just allergic. I cannot date anyone where if every time I visit you, I got to worry about having an allergy attack. It's just crazy for me. So I just choose not to date anyone with cats. But also, dating guys that are habitual liars, that are cheaters, habitual cheaters and liars. Like, those are definitely deal breakers for me. Um, Abusive, any type of abuse, whether it's verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like, I won't accept any type of abuse in a relationship. These are all deal breakers. And don't get me wrong, you don't always see those things in guys early on, because there are a lot of good actors and actresses out here as well. They'll reel you in and get you in with the good behavior. They bring their representative to the table when you're first dating them, right? You getting the representative. It's not really, who they truly are. It's who they representing themselves to be to reel you in. So you have to be careful of a lot of things like that. Don't be too quick and too fast. Because if you meet men and they're quick and fast to jump in bed with you, they'll be quick and fast to jump in bed with the next woman or man if the roles are reversed. You just got to look at it that way. Don't think you special. Don't think you so special that the first time they meet you, they just want to sleep with you like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, no, it's not that. Trust me. Trust me, if they doing that and with you, they're probably doing that with other men and women. And then there's the inappropriate behavior that I don't care for in men. That's another deal breaker for me. I don't like inappropriate behavior. I don't like if you're pursuing me, whether it's online, in person, or whatever, and you are that guy that just constantly want to talk under my dress, constantly talk about what you want to do to me, constantly, I like all of that. It's like once you pass hello, everything else is sex, 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 and that's it. And you talking inappropriate in a manner to me, and you don't even know me. That's a deal breaker for me. And I have found a lot of that as well with dating, especially online. I don't know. Some men are like keyboard gangsters. They feel like they could get behind a keyboard and say whatever they want to say to you and think you're not going to, or you're not supposed to respond some type of way. And I get it. Some women may like that. They may like the inappropriate behavior in men. Some women like, I'm not when I say inappropriate behavior, I mean in that manner. I mean, when you online dating, you have to be careful. I have had the provocative pictures and videos sent to me. It's just disgusting. It just, for me, it turns your stomach to know that somebody that don't even know you would send you that stuff when you try to have a communication to get to know someone. But these are the type of things that you can experience online. What else? Meet, like I said, meeting somebody and they look nothing like they picture. They picture was from 30 years ago when they were 30 years younger, and you look at them now and they look 30 years older, and they've gained a bunch of weight. And don't get me wrong, our weight and everything fluctuates up and down for all of us sometime, but I'm talking about morbid obesity. I'm talking about, oh my God, you were beautiful then, but you look like you could be a great grandmother, or like you look like, for real, like 30 years older. And it's the false pretenses, because have you ever gotten to a date and meeting somebody for the first time, and you realize they look totally nothing like what they picture said they looked? You could tell it probably was them 30 years ago. They look 30 years older and they've gained a lot of weight. And you sit through the date because you're trying to be nice. You're trying to say, okay, I done came all the way here, got dressed, let me just muddle through this. But you already know that this ain't it, and this ain't working for you. Do you sit there? Do you get directly up? Like, what's been your experience for that? And I have been in position where I've done both, right? Where I said, okay, I'm going to try to get through this doggone day, but you already know almost from jump, this is not it. It's not going to work for me. I've done it where I've sat and muddled through. I've done it where I said, okay, I can't take this no more. I got to go. Past 10 minutes, 15, 20, like, I'm sorry, but no, this is not what I expected. You are not what I expected. This isn't working for me. And I've got up and I've walked away. So the dating thing is really, really fickle. I will say that, because the people are fickle, right? On there. Sometimes it's like finding a needle in a haystack to genuinely find someone that you um, really feel like, okay, this could really be something. Because you can have that feeling in the beginning and it totally goes nowhere, because eventually somebody's going to show themselves to you for who you are. Just hope, I rather they do it sooner than later, because don't waste my time, get my feelings all caught up, and then it's like, wow, really? I did not know this or that or the other was like that with you, right? I think that being open and honest, being a realist about things, to go into especially first dates with no expectations, really, because you don't know what you're going to get. And you should not expect anything from the first date. You know that if you met them online, you like the pictures you saw, you may have read their profile, you like the profile, you like, okay, this is similar to what I like, what I want, what I need in my life at this time in my life. So let me, reach out. Then you conversing back and forth and the communication is good. Then finally you talk on the phone. Because to me, it's stages for me. I go from They send me a like, I send them a like. They send, then it's a conversation. They say hello. We're conversing back and forth. Okay, now when we get to a certain point, I feel comfortable with either me having your number or you having my number. And it's okay. Now we're talking and we're texting. And this is another thing that I'm finding out. People rather text and have text, long drawn out conversations than to actually hear that person's voice, converse with them, and actually go meet them in person when the time is right. People literally have these type of relationships where they are just back and forth, long drawn out. I don't like that. I am such a stickler. Ooh, that is a stickler for me. Like, do not. People need to realize Texas is for short conversations. How you doing? How was your day? I'm on my way home. Grab something to eat. Those what Texas are for. Where the kids? Pick them up from the babysitter. Stop by the grocery store. Like, give me some milk. Like it. That's what Texas is for, people. Especially when you're dating someone. It's not for long, drawn out conversations. Okay, we're gonna set up a dinner date. Where you want to eat? Let's go to this. What time? This time. I'll meet you there. Boom. That's cool. But not what are you wearing? I'm gonna wear this. No, that needs to be established. Like, okay, you can say, it's business casual, or it's after five cocktail. So dress up. Those are quick. That's fine. But long drawn out conversations about your dinner date, what are you gonna do? The conversation you're gonna have back and forth. Like, to me, enough already. Like, it's almost like, and I get it. A lot of millennials and Gen Zs, they texting is their life. Texting is their life. But if you come from an older generation or something, your Generation X, your baby boomers, and things like that, I'm even finding I found some people in those categories that they rather have a texting relationship. And texting can be funny because things can get taken out of content, misconstrued. I mean, it's so many things that, texting, uh, is not always the best conversing. Texting is not always the best way to conversate with people and to communicate with people, because a lot of times things get misunderstood and taken out of content with text. So, but it's a lot of older people that and I found out too that a lot of men like to do that more because behind the scenes they're really in relationships, so they don't want to get caught on the phone talking. They in relationships. I have found where there have been men that actually live with a woman. Some of them are married. It's just crazy. Some of the experiences, because I've been online dating for years now, because that's how I choose to meet people. Other side of me is I'm in the entertainment business, and I don't like to date within that circle of people. So for me, that's not the best way. I don't go to church like that to meet anyone there, and if I did, I probably wouldn't want to meet anyone there. um your chances of meeting people at the grocery store are slim to none these days. Nobody goes to the laundromat anymore because everybody had a washer and dryer in their home. So, like, how you gonna meet people if you're not online? And you have to be even careful with that because of the dangers of it. I have to get to a certain comfort level before I give you my number. And a lot of times, if I do that, I'm going to block my number and call you until I feel comfortable with you. And then if I meet you face to face and I'm comfortable with you to say, and we both agree, good chemistry, good communication, good attraction, good vibe, then, we decide then and there if we want to meet again for another date. If you want to think about it and hit me up later, that's cool too. If I feel like it, I may. If I don't, I won't. It just so many faucets to that, right? And what that looks like. So I know when I talk to the younger generation, my nieces, nephews, and in their experience with the dating, they have different ways, different morals and values about dating and how they date, how they want to date, how they feel about marriage and things of that nature. I found that a lot of older men that were married before don't want to be married anymore, and that makes it harder for your more traditional women my age that believes in the institution of marriage, want to be married, want to have someone in their life to grow old with, to do things with, to go places with, to experience life again with. So it just depends on where you are. And most of the times, the men that are like that, that have been married, are mostly bitter, they're jaded. They feel some type of way because the marriage was very bad for them. They feel some type of way about the experience they had with the ex. They've lost a lot in the marriage, whether it's money, homes, cars, businesses. It's a lot that goes to that, and I got had have had that experience. A lot of men that's left out here, that's like, "Oh, I ain't in no hurry. I ain't in no hurry to get married," because they feel like that the woman is just out for one thing, like they want their social security or they want their pension or something. It's whatever, and it could be women out there like that, and every situation is different for different people, right? But I know that I'm choosing in my life at this stage in time in my life to not date anyone that is unequally yoked with me, with the things that I want and expect out of a relationship that I want. And as you getting older, I have to think about those things because of where I am in life. And I'm not going to give the rest and the best years of my life I have left to someone that's not going to give me what I want and where I am in my life. And you should not either. And whatever that looks like for you, because sometimes we could be with the wrong people, and we know we with the wrong people for all the wrong reasons, and going in them and knowing that this person can't give you what you need or what you want in a relationship. um we go in blindsided thinking that once we get in a relationship, this person's going to change. This person, no, I can change this person's mind. I could change this person's heart, because I can be this good woman to them, and I can give them everything they want and they need. And a lot of times too, people get in relationships after dating so long, and they date and now they in a relationship, they exclusive, a year or two go by, and you get complacent in the relationship. You just get it just I feel like it flatlines and it just stays there. And if your expectations, you want to continue to do this, up, up, height, what does that look like? And they want to stay here, and they're just okay with the way things are with their life, the status quo. Then that's not somebody that is equally yoked with what you want, whether it's baby steps or hops or skips or jumps. You're constantly evolving, and the person is kind of old and set in their ways, and they're like, been there, done that, I'm done. I don't want to do it. Doesn't look like, I had a house, I had 3 cars, I had, six figures or 7 figures in the bank. Oh, I had me a $500,000 house, $250,000 house. I'm over it. That's where they are. And if that's where they are, that's where they are. It's nothing you could do about that. Oh, I just want to casually do this and casually do that. Well, then you casually take your ass on over there and do it. Because I ain't that person. My personality has always been, I just always wanted to have and aspire and strive to have more. And some people that have had that are so complacent in their life and where they are now that they don't give a shit. They really don't. And they need to be with people exactly like them, because I need to be with someone exactly like me and aspire to have the things that I want. I think that that's where the equally yoked part come in. I'm not talking about on a spiritual level. Even though another deal breaker for me is I don't want to date someone that's an atheist. I just choose not to date a person that does not believe in a higher power. I do, and I'm not a churchy holier than thou person, but I'm a spiritual person. I have a personal relationship with the creator. I just want someone to have that too, because I feel like a person that doesn't have that, you wouldn't be, that could sometimes can be a problem, because that person that's an atheist is probably going to always force on you. Why do you believe in God? Why do you always say amen? Why do you always say, oh Lord? Why do you always say, oh my God, he don't exist? And then there's that person that believes in it that might be trying to force their spiritual walk or faith or whatever on the person that's an atheist. You need to know that God exists. You need to say thank God. You need to pray. You need to amen. So I don't think that none of that should be forced on individuals, because for each person, because you're the only person that have to stand before, if whatever higher power you believe or not believe in. And nobody have a heaven or hell to put you in, and nobody should force their faith or religion or spirituality or belief on you. I'm a sole believer in that. To each its own. Now, the other part of the dating spectrum is can be, a lot of people I'm finding that are, especially my age in the baby boomer category, are saying that dating pretty much is sucking for them right now. I kind of agree with that, and it depends on like what your expectations are. It depends on uh, the type of people you're dating. And right now, I'm really choosing to be careful about who I date, because you people, like I said, they bring their representatives, to who they are, and people can tell you that they want the same thing you want, but they truly deep down don't want that, and they not honest with you about those things. To me, when I can respect a person that tell me straight off the bat, that's not what I want. I'm not there, and I don't know if I'll be there. I don't want that. You know, um, like I said, your cards on the table, but it's hard for people to do that for some reason. It's hard for people to be open and honest about their feelings. I don't know if it's the fact that they don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'd rather you hurt my feelings once than to get me years down the line and hurt my feelings over and over and over and over again. It's kind of like being in a relationship where you with an abuser, thinking that that person is going to change, and they're not going to change. People don't want to change unless they want to change. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you love. I don't care how you love them. I don't care what you give them. You can give them a home, a car, money. Baby, that's not going to make that person love you. That's not going to make that person want to marry you. That's not going to work. It's just so many facets to us needing to realize that we need to pay attention to the red flags that people give us, that people portray to us. The intentions behind a lot of people are not good. Some people, for the most part, we want to believe and see good in them, and there is good, and there is good in them. That don't make them a bad person. That just make them a person that is not equally yoked for you, and you have to make the decision of what you want in your life and what that look like in your life, and say, now I got a choice. Now I got a choice to accept this or not accept this. If I accept this, this is what I'm going to get. If I don't accept it, then I ain't got to worry about it. I can't miss what I never had. And I like to use that analysis a lot, because I'd rather be single than to settle, because that's what a lot of us has gotten so comfortable in doing in relationships and in dating, is settling because you feel like you're getting older, you're not getting any younger, and you want this, that, and the other. So I rather have a piece of a man than to not have a man at all. You know what I mean? I'd rather have piece of a man than not have a man at all. Some women feel like they gotta have something, or men, they gotta, in some relationship, they gotta have something. I rather be single than to deal with bullshit. I just would. And I just made a conscious choice and to be selective now, more selective, not that I wasn't before, but more selective in who I choose to date, how I choose to date, because it can be, oh my God, it can be, it's so one-sided. That can happen, but it has to be prepared prior. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, Hot 702.5. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, so that, I mean, what is your dating experience been like? Like, what is your opinion on things that I said? Because you have to decide for yourself what it is you're looking for. You know what I mean? So whatever that looks like for you, that's what you should go for. I think that you should not, especially like me, interracially dating. I know my race. I'm comfortable with my race. I love and respect most black men, not all of them, but my black father, my black son, my black brothers, right? But if I happen to fall in love with someone that is of a Caucasian race, I'm not letting anybody dictate to me what my love should look like, what it should be like, what color it should be, and you shouldn't either. Um, Whether it be same race or different race, you should not settle for anything in your race and become in your relationship. I'm sorry, or in your dating and become just settling and stagnant with that, and just decide, yeah, well, that's all out there. This is all I got. You know what I mean? Everybody should do what makes them happy, whatever that is. But always remember, when you are involving another person's opinion, point of view, and choice matters. And that's where the disconnect happens, because when you take away someone's choice in the matter, you're not giving them a choice to decide if they want to deal with your bullshit or not, or if they want to deal with this certain situation or not, because you took their choice away. You did not allow them to have a choice in the matter. And a lot of times in relationships, that's where it comes in, with the disconnect and the discord among this dating out here in these dating streets. That's just my perspective, guys. um Let me know in the comments what you think, if you agree, disagree, and that's all fine. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. This is what it looks like for me. This is my opinion, and these are the choices that I have decided to make in my personal life while I'm out here in these dating streets. Because it's rough, I'm telling you. And a lot of times, um, when you have made a decision to be stern about certain things moving forward in your life, and really just not accept certain things that you accepted before, and sticking to what you saying you were going to do, it can be even more difficult, because I don't care. I'm not going to stir away from what I want and what I'm looking for in a relationship, and I'm not definitely not going to settle. I've done that before, but I'm not ever doing that in my life. At this point in stage in my life, I want what I want, and if I don't get what I want from the person I'm with, I'm not with them anymore. And that's the reason why. It's because I'm there at one place, I'm at another place, and it's just not working. But I'm going to close on this. Whatever it looks like for you, do it for you. Do it for your happiness. Do it because it feels right and it feels good to you, and not worry about what anyone else thinks, what anyone else says, society, your family, your friends. If you truly find love again, and if there's whatever love looks like for you, in any spectrum of dating and relationships, that's what you should pursue. What makes you happy, not what makes your neighbors, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your peers, your colleagues, happy, but what makes you happy. So that's just a little tad bit on my dating perspective. This your girl Patrice Munsell. I'm gonna sign out on this Saturday. I thank y'all for joining me. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and please tune in next week this time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5 FM on your streaming dial for the Truth Now Talk Show. Signing out. Bye.